just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Well, for the second time here on Vspeed, QSR is going to go to a super speedway, but not just any super speedway. It's the fastest 2.66 mile oval in North America. It's live from the virtual Talladega Super Speedway. It's QSR Simulations. Welcome in, everybody. As always, I'm joined up here in the booth by Jake the Snake, the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves. Jake, we already had one exciting finish here on Thursday night. Let's see if we can go back-to-back on it.
Yeah, I mean, Bradley, I'm telling you right now, any of you that has followed any of the QSR simulation races, whether that be Tuesday or Thursday, I'm going to tell you right now, the last time that we was at Talladega in those Gen 4 cars, they put on a hell of a show. Think back, Daniel Molnix coming through the tri-oval. He had the race won. I don't know if Bradley, hold up now. He might have not had the race won. It was going to be a photo finish coming to it. But then all hell ends up breaking loose at the front. And Ethan Wisniewski goes from about probably 12th, 13th, right through the middle. And he ends up getting the win. So it's going to be awesome to see him go at it for the second time. But there you saw 2.66 miles, Talladega, Alabama. 4 lanes, 5 lanes wide. These guys, they're going to be dicing it up as there you see the standings.
Speaking of dicing it up, Daniel Molnix, that lead dwindled down just a little bit there after last week, and then Ronnie Joyner, 25 points out from that lead. Jared Ziegler, he's a new fan favorite. He's been hot here lately. He's really picked up the spots, up to third now. CJ Gates gets that win at Indy. That helped him out tremendously in the points as well. Tied for that 4th and 5th on Vspeed. I'm coming for you, Gates, but yeah, we got a tight top 10 here. Still a lot of racing left to be done. Let's take you trackside here, though. Let's get that grid up on the screen. Starting on the pole here today with a 54.558. It's Trenton Wilkin in the number 12, starting alongside Kevin West in the number 1. Row number 2 belongs to Derek McMurtry with Joseph Terciano in 4th. Row number 3 is Marshall Newton in 5th spot, Galen Wunsch in 6th. Randy Saleh in the 69 will start in 7th, Caleb Nelson in 8th spot. And rounding out your top 10, it's Mike Petrin and Daniel Molnix.
Then you got Brett Allen in the number 13. He's going to roll off P11. You get Caden Dietrich will start in P12. Jared Ziegler, we talked about him just a second ago, sitting up pretty good in the points. He's going to be starting 13th. And how about this on his outside? The winner of the Gen 4 race here at Talladega for QSR just a couple of weeks ago, that being Ethan Wisniewski. Indy winner CJ Gates is going to start 15th with the owner of QSR, Quentin Stewart, starting in 16th. Spencer Johnson is going to start 17th with Stephen McGough starting in 18th. Our old Vspeed buddy Morgan Cook is going to start 19th, and rounding out the top 20, that's going to be Ronnie Joyner in the 00.
Little blanking there for the 48, but starting 21st is Paul Ayla. Oh man, that's a tough one. Agala. Tyler Griffin, Andrew Keisler, Frank Walsh, Reed Sanders, Ryan Comments. Let's go live from Talladega. 60 laps here today.
It's going to be a good one, and they're already trying to get fanned out, trying to get lined up the best that they can. Trent Wilkin down on the bottom, Kevin West up top. West, he's got Terciano right behind him. Look at this move by the 48, Derek McMurtry trying to get up there, give Wilkin a little shove. He may jump up in front of West. He may want to try to take the lead of the race, but he's going to hold it down on the bottom of the racetrack. As there you already see, right off the bat, right here on lap 1, everybody's starting to fan out. 2, 3, 4 wide, and maybe end up going 5 wide before this thing's all said and done.
We saw some 3 wide across the tri-oval there in the very last lap to bring that race out. But here they are side by side, 2 by 2, coming by to lead lap number 1. Your pole sitters held on to it so far. Derek McMurtry is going to hold the back bumper to carry him through the tri-oval. First lap's going to go to the 12.
And everybody right now, this is the calm before the storm. Nobody really wanting to make any crazy, aggressive moves right now. Maybe the one, Kevin West trying to come down side draft. Derek McMurtry trying to pull this inside lane back. He's got Terciano right behind him. Then also right up here in the middle of this, you got Daniel Mornings up here with Brett Allen trying to give the shove on the outside. It looks like that little bit of side draft's going to work. Kevin West in the 1. He's going to take it all the way to the point, but now Wilkins going to fight hard on the inside.
Terciano got him a nose down the backstretch, but that's pack racing for you. In this B car, a little less power behind it. It's a little bit more momentum based. You have to stay glued to that rear bumper, and it's very difficult with this new package that they put out. iRacing's recent update is Wilkin will lead that time by, but iRacing's recent update, it's a little bit more difficult to stay locked on that bumper. Sometimes you can get into their draft and push that car away from you, and it's a little less effective.
Yeah, I mean, Bradley, and you mentioned that right there with these guys being able to lock bumpers, folks. If you remember, like I was talking about the Gen 4 race, talking about how that car model is with the nose of the Gen 4 and the back end of that Gen 4 car. Really can't lock bumpers going around here at Talladega. You can easily jack somebody's back end up and spat them out. These cars right here with these B-Open Xfinity cars, or Xfinity cars, I should say, you can just lock bumpers 9 ways to Sunday. But one thing about that, Bradley, you get tucked up on the back bumper like you see Derek McMurtry right here, blinking a little bit right here off of the back bumper of Wilkin. That's got to make Wilkin kind of get his eyes opened up a little bit wide seeing this. But one thing about that, talking about blinking, got to be careful. Get tucked up on somebody's back bumper. What that's going to do, that's going to close the grill off. And then what it's going to end up doing, you're going to start to overheat, and then you can blow up big time.
And you can see right there, and their 48 is going to drop below the yellow line and let the field by. We had Sully waving to us on the hood of that machine, but that blinking in and out, they're going to tell him to the back of the field. And that actually hurt the inside. Wilkin's going to lose 2 or 3 spots because once that car starts blinking, Jake, he's not effectively drafting anymore. He's not helping that guy in front of him.
Well, I mean, Bradley, that really, yes, you are correct with that, but another thing about that, if he's blinking like that, drivers that get 2 and 3 wide getting in that situation, it can really screw them up. They'll sit there and they might not know where you're at, and then you could just reappear out of nowhere right there in front of them. It can really cause a big-time accident when they just reappear right there on your front bumper. You can end up causing a big wreck. So, good man for Derek McMurtry to drop to the back right there with all that blinking going on.
Starting a third lineup here, 24 on the outside. That's Quentin Stewart with the 00, Ronnie Joyner. And then the 51 of Morgan Cook following in suit. Cook started back in the 19th, 20th position here today, and they've worked up to the top 10.
And Bradley, we talked about it with the Gen 4 series. Big time. You can go from about the 19th starting spot all the way up to the front. You can do that here at Talladega, just like at Daytona. So Super Speedway racing always kind of a wild card. As right now you're seeing the wild card on the top side.
Yeah, you are.
Stewart, Ronnie Joyner up here. Morgan Cook, he just tried to hold on for all dear life right behind them. But these guys up here on the top, that being Stewart and Joyner, starting to make a little bit of a run right here as Molnick's trying to go for the lead on Kevin West.
Riding on board with Quentin Stewart. He's locked in, he's focused. Got a little bit more furniture behind him this week. Good to see he's moved in comfortably. But right now, he's probably the most uncomfortable he's been all week right now, Jake, because that force feedback on the outside is probably the most turbulent that it is anywhere on this racetrack. Very bumpy up there. You got to hold your line between that wall and that car to your inside. Here he is peeking for the lead now, coming out of the tri-oval.
And one thing you really got to be watching for is when you feel the bumps with Joyner tagging him in the back end. Check it out, folks. 3 by 3 by 3 for 9 cars right there. There you see it on your screen, folks. Take a snapshot of that right there, because that is absolutely beautiful for a race fan. Daniel Moniz in the middle. He's getting the shove from the Gen 4 winner here at Talladega. Wisnowski, the bottom side. Kevin West with Brett Allen. They're starting to fall back as Moniz, he's got clear. Stewart up on the top side with Jordan. Now here comes Kevin West back down on the bottom.
Well, you've got to be really careful there pushing through 3 and 4 like that, but Joyner stayed steady on the bumper. 24 does have a good partner right now, just not quite enough on the surge on the exit. No reason to push the issue just yet, though. I mean, we've still got plenty of racing left to be done. Lap late 8 up on the board now out of 60. We're not even halfway. 100% fuel here tonight, so that's another factor, and 1 fast repair. I want to establish that. So if your favorite driver gets in an accident tonight, if he can salvage this thing back to pit road, there's a good chance he'll stay on the lead lap and we'll get back out there.
Absolutely. That was one thing I was going to talk about. And also, you talked about that 100% fuel capacity. These guys can make it, give or take, around 35 to 38 laps on a full tank of fuel. As you see Brett Allen going to hang Molnix out to dry. He's going to go to the point right in front of Kevin West. But this is where you want to have as much help as you can. You don't want to be trying to pit by yourself here, Bradley, because if you end up pitting by yourself, you're going to get hung out. You're going to get hung out to dry. You're going to go all the way to the back. You're going to have no help and be able to go 190 miles an hour. Check it out right there, 33 degrees of bacon. Brett Allen, right here with a gyro cam coming off of turn 2. He's getting all he can get from Kevin West right behind him.
Got his lap lead there on Thursday as well. He was up front for a lot of that race. I believe the circumstances changed towards the end with about 10 to go that put Brett Allen out of contention. But you're seeing it right here. He's in a good spot, and he's got a good pusher behind him. Just keep holding that wheel steady, and in real time you can see that red dash on the top of that wheel on his camera. Well, let's see. It's going to be inverted, folks, but you can see it. He's just keeping that wheel a little bit of offset. Let that car kind of steer itself with the banking and keep it down there on that yellow line. You don't want anybody to get to your inside as he's blocking to the outside.
Now he's going to get stuck 3 wide. He's going to get stuck in the middle. Daniel Monix up top. Kevin West, he's going to go to the point. Monix tries to go up and get with Stewart and Joyner as Allen stuck straight in the middle of the pack. How about that? Hell of a move by Kevin West as Wisnowski going to come up, try to help Allen out. Stewart trying to help Monix, but it's all Kevin West up at the front, getting the shove from Terciano.
On board with the 15, the winner Thursday night, pushing that 13 of Allen right now. But this is about the situation, maybe a couple more spots back that Ethan Wisnowski was in on that last lap. If you're the 15 right now, that experience is going to show. He's not fretting this at all right now. He's calm, cool, and collected. He's got nothing to worry about right now. Just let these guys run these laps down, and he could get the win anyway.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's got that golden horseshoe probably stuck inside the race car probably too, because, I mean, nothing against Wisnowski, but, I mean, sometimes, skill is a factor here for this Super Speedway racing to know what you're doing here in these cars. But Bradley, you know as well as I do, it takes some luck here to be able to pull out a win, especially when the whole damn field wrecks in front of you. There you see riding on board with Kevin West, got Terciano right behind him. May have a new player up here at the front. Spencer Johnson started 17th. He's working his way up here to maybe have a fight for the lead. And now Venom Motorsports up on the top with Ronnie Joyner.
Wilkin on the apron.
Daniel Monix Wilkin on the apron, as now they're going 3 wide and once again for the lead.
Into turn 1, side by side, the 2 of Molnex all over the back of Joyner. The 29 of Spencer Johnson trying to lead his first lap of the day. Terciano pushes Kevin West to lead another one as they come out of turn 2.
hell of a race right here for the QSR Xfinity Series. And folks, we're only 12 laps into the 60th lap event. Now the inside lane, it's going to start to fall back. You got Venom Motorsports, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 drivers up there on the top side. Joyner, Monix, Petrin, and McMurtry now has jumped back into this after his blinking issues. Now West, down on the bottom, Johnson trying to get the shove from Allen, and Joyner got the Superman colors, throwback to Dale Earnhardt Jr. with the AC Delco car. Now he has worked his way up here. Joyner, he's going to lead that lap, and he's going to hang his teammate out the drive, jump down in front of Spencer Johnson.
I think here right now the situation warrants that maybe they get Joyner up there to control the inside line. They could get Molnix to control the middle line. Petrin and McMurtry maybe run that top side, but they're bouncing. A few other drivers throwing a wrench in that right now as you see Allen come up to that outside line. He saw the momentum train. He's going to try to ride it. Oh, contact with the line. That's a
West gets into Johnson. West gets into Johnson. Petrin ends up getting involved. Wisnowski, McMurtry, 4 or 5 drivers getting collected going into turn 3 here at Talladega. Caution is on the speedway.
Well, I already picked a car to ride on board with. I saw it and I prayed and he made it through. So we're going to go on board with him right now.
Yeah, we're going to see exactly what happened right here. There you see Spencer Johnson ends up going around off of the front bumper of Kevin West. Kind of ironic how this wreck actually happened with Spencer Johnson and Kevin West. As we're going to ride on board, I believe it's going to be Trenton Wilkin from what you had picked out for us right here, Bradley. Let's check this out right here and see what Wilkin had. Is you're going to see a little bit of a scuffle up there at the front. West, all of them bouncing around, riding on board with Wilkin. Holy hell, watch this. I mean, bumpers flying all over the place. I think he was blinking a little bit through that, but able to get through the accident. But, I mean, it was interesting how this all started with Kevin West and Spencer Johnson. There you see West was down there below the apron. He actually took a shot, saw a hole, the hole closed up, and he just didn't lift. And Spencer just held his line. West was down on the double yellow line. You cannot go down there to improve your position. So Kevin West, he didn't get out of the gas. He ends up hooking Spencer Johnson and causes a big one.
This is actually the car I originally picked to ride on board with. How do you make it through this? Yeah.
By luck. I mean, I got to give him a shout out. I mean, hell, I mean, it's like I was talking about, Bradley. What? Exactly what you seen right there riding on board with Morgan Cook, because we got some pit stops out there.
97 turned around in his pit right there. That's Tyler Giffen. Not sure what's going on there, but he is facing the wrong direction on pit road, trying to get that thing right-sided. He's going to lose a ton of time, thankfully under caution, so he will be able to catch back up, but that is going to put him at the tail end of this field.
I'm also seeing a little bit right here in the driver's chat. We got some beef out there on the racetrack. I got a feeling it's probably going to be with Spencer and the one at Kevin West, because I mean that's rough right there. I mean, from what I was seeing right there, Bradley. I mean, wow. I mean, it's very, very early. Obviously, we talked about it. Everybody's got that one fast repair that you can use if something happens, but I mean, the aggression level just kind of set in a little bit earlier than what I guess you could. I mean, honestly, I thought it wasn't going to be this aggressive at this point in the race. It turns out that's exactly what has happened. Ends up getting a couple of drivers that got collected that did have, they had no business to be even in that.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the 29, he has to burn a fast repair. There's about 4 cars that had to use up that repair early in this race, and Kevin West was able to get away mostly damage-free, so he got a lot of this repaired on pit road, trying to keep that in his back pocket. I was looking through the Discord for a name that I wanted to pull somebody, you know, I wanted the beef on the air. That's what I want. These guys got to get in here so we can hear that, but I think what we're going to do here, and this isn't playing favorites, this guy truly did make it and snuck through, so I want to hear Morgan Cook's opinion on this. Morgan Cook, Jake Reeves, Bradley Cooper in the Vspeed booth. You got a copy, buddy?
I gotcha.
Morgan, I don't know what kind of horseshoe or rabbit's foot or what you got in there with you right now, but how'd you make it through that wreck?
Well, I saw a hole, and I just put the foot down and drove through it. And so one car went left, one car went right, and I cleared the middle.
That's about as close as it's going to get here tonight, right? Give me a
One
heart
can
attack.
hope. One can hope. Yeah, let's keep this thing shiny side up and see what we can do.
We saw 3 wide a lot here at the start of this race, and Jake, go ahead and ask him, because I'm curious. Like, is it just a hornet's nest out there, guys? Just anxious?
Yeah. I mean, Morgan. I mean, really. I mean, is it a hornet's nest like Bradley was talking about? Because, it's like I just said right there on the broadcast just a second ago. I mean, I wasn't really expecting everybody to get this aggressive this early on in the race. I mean, what's the deal? I mean, is it just everybody just loving to race here at Talladega, or what is it?
I think we're finding these cars have quite a bit of grip, and you're able to do whatever you need to do. Like pitting there after, 15 laps, I only had 1% off on the right rear. Everything was good. That, as well as, I mean, we all have a faster pair to burn. So driving hard at the start, I imagine we'll see it calm down a little bit now as half the field got wiped out in that accident. So we'll find out, though.
Out to find out. 2x2, doubling back up. Good luck out there, Morgan.
Thank you.
Driver the 51, Morgan Cook. He'll be restarting here about the 6th position here on the outside of Brent Allen. Front row goes to Randy Saleh, Ronnie Joyner on the outside. Saleh will be the command car here, I believe. I'm not entirely sure on the 00 if he's, I believe it is the, we got 2 00s up there, so it's a little bit confusing for me up here in the booth.
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, Randy Sally technically being scored as the 69 from what I'm seeing as far as timing and scoring, but by the paint scheme, got the 00. So got a couple of 00s going to be leading us to the restart right here, Bradley.
Field tightens up. Got a long line of cars that came back down pit road to get some more damage repair. Into the longest line for Trent Wilkin and a few others. Green flag's going to come back out, though, for the 2nd time today. Back out on the loud pedal into turn 1. Saleh leads him in.
Saleh's going to keep it down on the bottom. He's got to go right behind him. Jordan got a little bit of help back there from, check it out, Walt Disney right there on the hood of the 199. That being Galen Wunsch and your buddy, our buddy from Vspeed, right behind Galen. That's going to be Morgan Cook. And how about this? Mike Petrin got through that crash. He had to burn a faster pair, but he's working his top side. Whole top side starting to get a run. Watch, all up in the back bumper of Jordan. Sally, he's got Mago as they go into turn 3. Jordan's got the advantage.
Joyner not quite able to clear on the bottom there, so he's going to stay to the outside. The 199 of Wunsch is going to have to give him another shove here through the tri-oval. They want to get that lead. 83 a little out of shape. Brent Allen got into the back of him. That's going to allow the momentum here through the tri-oval into 1 00. Going to lead a lap.
Yeah, I mean, he's already led him a lap, and he gets to lead him another one. And like we were talking about, big time, you need to be able to get those bonus points. Talked about it with Joyner and Molnix, very, very close in that points battle. Obviously, the playoffs coming here very, very soon, but you still want to be able to have some type of advantage, especially when playoff time comes. How about this? Brett Allen, he's going to sneak it right there in the middle. He's got no help, though. He's hung out to dry. Hopefully somebody will go with him. Now, Joyner, now Wunsch, they jump down. Cook thought about it, but Sally is there. And now Petrin, he's up there with McMurchie as Joyner pulled Wunsch down to try to close off this inside lane.
Just unfortunate there for the 51 that he couldn't follow him to the bottom, but he has a good head of steam here on the outside. The 13 of Brent Allen's going to give him the shove. Now the 83 moves up to the middle line. Petrin doesn't quite have the push from McMurchie that I thought he would have, and I don't know if it's still maybe the 48 skeptical of his connection, but briefly for the lead here, the 51 takes over the point.
Morgan Cook all the way from 19th up here to first, and also battling with the inside car, the 00 Roddy Joyner. He started to his outside. Ironically enough, they started 19th and 20th in the field. Joyner was to his outside on the initial start, and now Cook's to Joyner's outside, running for the lead. Allen up here with Wunsch. trying to give the shove to Joyner. Allen gets a little shove from McGough, and don't look now, we may see some 3 wide. McMurtry and Petrie, they're going to try to make a run on the outside, but Joyner trying to get away as Cook jumps down on the inside. Now here comes Brent Allen. Here comes Mike Petrie on the top side.
Petrin's biggest problem right now is that 48 car keeps blinking in and out. He keeps getting a run through the tri-oval, but then it dies because of the connection strength of the 48. You're actually almost seeing a problem there. Believe that's the 3 car back there that's having some problems. Ryan Commons not sure where the 48 car is right now, and he drops down, gives him plenty of room on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, wow. I mean, that's crazy. It's like I was talking about, Bradley. You know, guys don't know where everybody is blinking. I mean, they can just, like I said, reappear just right there in front of you, or right there, say, on your right front, and then all of a sudden they appear, and then you've got nowhere to go. I mean, you just didn't expect them to pop up like that. So, good deal by Ryan Commons, and also McMurtry backing away. Obviously, got the horsepower, got the drive, got the car to try to get up here, contend for the win of this race. But hopefully those internet issues will start to try to get cleared up, at least before this race is over with, as they are catching a lap car, that being Daniel Molnix, who is not having the night, or point later, not having such a good night here tonight at Talladega.
Now, unfortunate here, I'm not quite sure what happened to the 2 car, but he is going to go a lap down, actually 2 laps down now, as they go by on the inside. He's all by himself. Now, he has not burned a fast repair. I'm not sure if he got a penalty for something, but he is going to fall deep into the field. 25th right now. Not the day that he needs. We're getting down to that final, that final moment where if you're not in the top 12 this season, you're not going to be racing for anything.
Exactly. I mean, but Molnix, I mean, he's got a very, very good resume here with the QSR Xfinity Series. So I'm not too worried about that. No. Obviously, your point leader, I mean, he's going to be in good shape.
It would take something dramatic.
Top 12. So, yeah, it's going to take something crazy as hell to not see the 2 in the playoffs. But, going back to Molnix, as we're starting to see the QSR owner up there, Quentin Stewart, trying to take a shot up on the top side. I mean, I think what happened maybe with Molnix is a lot of guys, when they come into this, they may have a fast repair to burn. He may have ended up unchecking that fast repair and not trying to use it. So that may have ended up costing him, and he may have not went back in there and checked it back up. Let's check it out. 3 wide for the lead. Cook, Joyner, Allen. Here comes McGough. Here goes Wunsch. Now Petrie, he's going to get back into this as Cook leads him, but just by a hair coming off of turn 2.
83 of Steve McGough is going to give a good shove down the backstretch. The 00 was getting hot behind the 51. Moved up to the outside line just before the start-finish line, broke that pack up, created a third line briefly, but those guys could not get the momentum. So now it's going to be side-by-side from first back to about 12th position. Ryan Commons at the end of this group.
I'm telling you what, check them out. Actually, Wunsch looked like he got a little bit loose coming off of 4. That's going to stall the momentum right there on the inside lane. Cook's going to slide back. McGough is going to shove Joyner. Joyner back up to the lead. He's got in tow Petrie. He's got Allen. He's got all of them back here. Commons trying to get going. Look at this move by Mike Petrie. He's going to jump down to the bottom, get in behind his teammate, Ronnie Joyner. Try to shove him. He kicks McGough out to dry. He turned on him, and now here's Brett Allen trying to come up here and give the shove to McGough. But Petrie made a hell of a move going into turn 1, and now he's going to get up here and give Joyner the shove.
What the 60 wanted to do, get back with his teammate on that bumper. They weren't quite able to do it there earlier when they were all on the outside. The 48 was unfortunately the last guy to try to push Petrie through and just never could. But he worked his way through there. He did it by himself. Methodical.
Yeah, I mean, he done a fantastic job, and great to see some of these drivers up here in the front. As we're seeing some hellacious racing back here with Quentin Stewart. He went all the way to the top. He's got Kevin West right behind him. I believe that's Terciano right behind them, as well as Spencer Johnson trying to get back up here from that mishap that happened earlier on that brought out the very first caution. Is Joyner gonna jump up to the top side? Here comes Petrie down to the bottom for the lead, and Brett Allen, getting a hell of a shove right now from Quentin Stewart. They're going to try to go for the lead coming into turn 3.
Morgan Cook giving a good shot there to the 60 to inch him out about 2 car lengths as they come out of turn 4. Looks like he's going to have the point, but on that outside, the 13 of Brent Allen, probably the only one that has the momentum right now. Stewart lost the bumper, and Petron's going to lead, but he touches the apron briefly.
I'm telling you what, how about this right here for Mike Petron, Bradley? It's like I was talking about. This right here, this type of racing, Super Speedway racing, here at Talladega, Daytona, the new Atlanta, that's where you end up seeing drivers that you wouldn't necessarily see up here at the front. This is when you end up seeing them shine, and Petron able to get him a lap, led his very first lap here this season to lead. But now that outside lane, it's formed up, son. It is rolling. Brent Allen goes around.
Oh,
Big
contact,
bump.
83.
McGow, Joyner goes into it. Terciano goes around. Big one back in turn 4.
And that's going to do it for quite a few cars here. Morgan Cook almost missed it again. He got the 3 across the nose, and it was about 7, 8 cars that are involved in this one.
Wow, big time crash right there. That took out a good chunk of them. Ronnie Joyner, one of those that gets involved. Terciano, one that gets involved. Watch the 20 of Terciano right here behind the 1 of Kevin West. He just comes down ever so slightly, just enough to bump the 83 of McGow. Petron able to sneak by, but after that, all hell breaks loose. There you see bumpers, hoods, smoke filling the air here at the virtual Talladega Super Speedway. Joyner goes in for the spin cycle. I think he lost everything on the car when he got spun around right there. You're riding on board with Joyner. I'm going to tell you what, folks, if you get scared easy and you've had flashbacks of car crashes, I don't know if you want to watch this, because this right here, this is a hell of a hit that Joyner ends up taking head on, straight into the wall. All 4 tires come off the ground, straight into the spin cycle. There you see Terciano going around. McGow ends up going around. A couple of drivers having blown engines. I believe that was Sal that ends up getting involved. But very, very unfortunate to see this right here, just almost at the halfway point of this race.
of CJ Gates is involved. Looks like Commons got a piece of it there at the tail end, and I want to go on board with Commons here. He was kind of the aftermath of this. He's just trying to avoid it here. Just trying to avoid it. No room down there on the bottom. Came across the nose of Morgan Cook. Minimal damage for the 3. I think he'll be able to salvage the day, but it's just one of those moments where it happens so fast and you have nowhere to go.
Well, I mean, Bradley, it's like I say all the time, you know, you damned if you do, damned if you don't right there, and that's pretty much what happened in Commons. I mean, when you see smoke, you see cars flying around, the last thing that's going through your mind is who's to my inside or who's to my outside. You basically just go where the wreck is not. And unfortunately, Commons took a hard left right there. Morgan Cook was there, ends up spinning him around. But it's like you said, very, very minimum damage. Hopefully, he still has a fast repair. He's not going to burn it for that. I wouldn't burn a fast repair just for that little bit of damage that he's got, because he's still well in contention just for that little tap up there on the wall. He may end up having maybe 30 seconds optional, but it's certainly not as much as some of these other drivers that's going to have it.
Well, we're just about at the halfway point. We will go back green past that halfway point. You're watching the QSR Xfinity Series live from Talladega. We're going to take a short, brief break here. We're going to catch some more action. Second half coming up here on Vspeed right after this.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live from Talladega Super Speedway, lap number 30 is underway. The restart with Kevin West on the front row. He got a decent jump there, pulled out ahead. Brent Allen is going to be on the rear bumper, and they are single file going into turn 2.
Yeah, and from what it looks like right now, Bradley, I think everything may have just calmed down just a little bit. We already had 2 big ones basically in the first 30 laps. A lot of drivers having to burn it, maybe not. Hell farther, here they go. Got a couple of them trying to go 3 wide back here just a little bit. That's Commons up there on the top side in the number 3. They're going to get back into that double file racing. And would you look at this? The 76, Marshall Newton. And how about the driver giving him a shove? Caleb Nelson. Now, up front, Allen. He's going to jump up. He's going to go Wilkin. Wilkin gives him the shove. Brent Allen goes around Kevin West for the lead. But don't look now. That's 76, Marshall Newton. We haven't talked a whole lot about him, Bradley. He's got Caleb Nelson, last week's winner at Homestead. Now they're trying to make a charge up to the front.
That 07, man, came out of nowhere at Homestead. Nobody could touch him. Very few drivers were within arm's reach of that car when it came down to the very end of that race. He led the vast majority of the laps, dominated that entire race, and here he is, up in the top 3, coming out of 3.
I'm telling you, how about that? Awesome racing up here. Morgan Cook, matter of fact, going to be right in behind that 07 of Caleb Nelson. And don't look now, that 57, Jared Ziegler. He's jumped up here and got into the middle of this as well. Nelson, he's going to fire. He's going to go around Cook trying to give it the shove. Nelson goes to the lead. Now, here comes Morgan Cook, but there's only 3. Now 4 drivers. CJ Gates has jumped back up here in the middle of this. Kevin West trying to figure out a way to get back to the front, but he is losing spots left and right. As 3 drivers, now 4 as Kevin West jumps up here. Morgan Cook goes to the lead. Now when will Ziegler end up going to the lead? It's like leapfrog right here, Bradley.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody on the top side just going in front of everybody else.
One after another, but you just got to find that partner that'll go with you and stay committed. Right now, it's a matter of let's get some laps led. Let's get these laps ticked away. You'll let one guy lead, the next guy in line takes over the point. Doesn't look like Morgan's going to be able to have enough here. 57 gets him at the line. Might have dropped down a little too early there. Now 57's going to drop down. 14 almost followed him there unintentionally. Kevin West is going to find his way back up to the front. It's the spin cycle.
Well, now, I'll say this, Bradley. I mean, if it was me and I'd already seen that this middle lane is really advancing a lot up here, if I'm CJ Gates, I'm staying up here in this middle lane because that's where I like to run at, unless I'm thinking that they're going to crash. Then I go to the bottom and try to have me a way out in case all hell ends up breaking loose. There you see Caden Deerditch. He's actually going to slide back. He may see something up here that he does not like. But up here in this middle lane, if I'm CJ Gates, I'm staying right where I need to be, right in the middle, and just have Kevin West give me the shove. If Kevin West gets clear, caution. Caution is on the speedway, looking back through the field, trying to find him.
Not exactly sure. We got some damage on the side of the 2 car of Daniel Molnix. We're going to go on rewind here and see if we can figure out what happened.
Yes, it was Daniel Molnix, and I think this is going to be a bad bump draft. Bad bump draft gone wrong right here. McMurtry trying to give the shove. And I think he just gets him just a little bit right there in the right rear. Ends up tagging him, makes him lose it just a little bit, sends him around. McMurtry ends up hitting him in the left side of the door. Daniel ends up going for the spin cycle. Daniel, not, like I said, not having the night here at Talladega that he really wants to try to be able to keep the point lead. And matter of fact, I mean, I know it's going to help his teammate, but him getting sent around, it's going to put Ronnie Joyner back on the lead lap. So I guess you could say, as far as points goes, double whammy right here for Daniel Molnix.
Yeah, it prevents him from getting into those wave rounds and getting his laps back. And that just, I don't know, man, that might have been just a... The two had a little damage. I don't know how, much iRacing really calculates for that, but you saw that blink on the 48 right after the fact, and it might have just been a netcode hit.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it was. I mean, obviously, McMurtry trying to help his teammate, Daniel Molnix, try to advance him up through the field. McMurtry on the lead lap, but still just trying to help Daniel out as much as he can. And then obviously we saw him way off the pace a while ago, so maybe a caution happened, or the big one before this one happened. He was able to go down, try to get some of that damage fixed, maybe burn a fast repair, something, to try to get that car fixed up and get it back out there. And just, I mean, unfortunate bump draft gone wrong. Ends up sending Molnix around. Thankfully, nobody else gets involved in this.
Eric Schaefer out there in the chat, I just saw, is this league taking applications? They are. However, I do not have a Discord link for you. Try to get that information over to you as fast as possible if you're still in the chat. QSR Simulations on Discord. They also have a promotional video that the Discord's on, but I will get you that invitation momentarily. CJ Gates, winner at Indy. He is leading past the halfway point. Now, here's the other side of things. You said they're going to make about 38 laps on fuel. That's if you're in the draft. It's probably more like 35, 36 if you're up front. However, we haven't really seen anyone sustain a lead. It seems like the outside is able to overtake pretty easily. So we're going to cycle through. Everybody up in the top 10 is probably going to be about even on fuel. But right now, as they sit, we're 8 laps on this stint. Jake, I don't think they can make it from here. Maybe with the pace laps, they can, but it's going to be close.
Well, I mean, it's going to be tight. Obviously, Bradley, it is going to be tight there. You see the pace lights is still on. Any of these guys that's back here in the back, say Paul Ayala, Quentin Stewart, Frank Walsh, Derek McMurtry, Reed Sanders, go on in. Go get you some fuel. I mean, you ain't got to put no tires on it or nothing like that. But go in there and go ahead and fill it up. Go ahead and top it off, whatever you got to do. Get you some extra fuel to be able to try to make it to the end. At least that's what I would do. Just try to make sure. Matter of fact, I'm seeing a couple of them right now. Looks like they was going, but then they must have thought different of it, and then they bailed out of it. So, I mean, I'm telling you, if I was back there in the back area, somewhere in that range, maybe they pitted before this because I think the pace lights is fixing to go out, which is exactly what they have done. So maybe they pitted before this, but still, screw it. Get you an extra lap. That's what I'd do. I'd just go in and top it off just to make sure that I was able to make it all the way to the end. But it's going to be tight right here as far as fuel goes.
As they double back up, it is Gates and Ziegler on the front row. Then you have Cook and West in that second one. The 07 who won just last week at Homestead. He'll be starting in the 6th position on the outside of Galen Wunsch. Then you have Allen, Petrin, Wilkin, and Mago for that top 10. Your pole sitter, well, he's not having the greatest of days right now. The 12 car sitting back in 9th. He's been up and down. I think the 12 has also had some connection issues similar to what we saw with McMurtry. So he's kind of had to drop back a few times to see if it'll clear up. Seems like it's better now, but hopefully it will sustain itself once we go green.
absolutely. You know, Bradley, you know, you talked about it right there with Trenton not having, I guess you could say, the best of days. I mean, it could always be worse. I mean, you could be in the point leader's shoes mornings. Could be way back there, 2 laps down, and just praying that there's 2 more cautions to try to get the lucky dog. But Bradley, you know as well as I do, we saw the Gen 4 race here about a week or so ago when they ran here. Anything can happen. I mean, as long as you are on the lead lap, on that white flag lap, you still got a chance. Well, we're just past halfway, so any of these guys that's on the lead lap, they still got a chance to try to win this race.
It's not over till it's over. We're going to play till the whistle. Lap 37 about to be underway. CJ Gates hits the loud pedal. Green flag's back out. A little ahead of myself, but Kevin West was ready for the bumper. Gives him a little shot to get him a jump into 1.
Wow, CJ Gates gets a big time launch right here. But the bad thing about this right here, Bradley, is he's going to get eat up big time right here. Gates jumps down in front of Kevin West. Ziegler gets the shove from Cook. You got Wunsch up here. You got Nelson up here as well as Allen. Everybody trying to get formed up as now CJ Gates, he's going to take it to the bottom side. He's going to see if West will go with him. But Ziegler, he's going to get the shove from our good buddy Morgan Cook, going to give him the shove. Take Jared Ziegler in the 57 up to the front. He is clear, but will he jump down? Cook thought about going to the top side, but nobody went. Big crash.
The 3's involved. Commons, the 00's involved. Ronnie
We
Joyner.
have another caution.
That's a big wreck too, and Wisnowski's involved. Looks like Derek McMurtry maybe got a piece of it.
That's unfortunate, Bradley. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate because I'm sitting here watching some of what had happened. It was between the 83 and the 3. That's where it all started. Going into turn 3 between Stephen McGough and Ryan Commons. You see it right here on the instant replay. The 83 up top, Stephen McGough. You got Commons down here on the bottom. McGough just comes down right there. Maybe Commons comes up. Commons takes a hell of a ride all the way up top. And then Wisnowski just comes through him, more or less, I guess you could say, ARCA braked right there coming through. But what I'm trying to figure out is exactly what happened to Joyner out of all of this, because you said Joyner was around. I don't necessarily remember seeing him get caught up in anything. I'm actually looking now. He's riding on board with Joyner. Joyner, just got tagged a little bit in the right rear. But, I mean, he didn't hit anything. Yeah. I mean, the only thing that's been hit so far tonight out of that 00 is his pride so far, Bradley. So he should still be okay to continue here in this race.
We're going to watch on board with Ethan Wisnowski, nowhere to go. That's who clips the 00 there. And we're going to watch also on board with the 83. I think you're going to see the 3 car come up here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, that's, yeah, I mean, for a second I thought the 83 might have came down, but yeah, the 83 looked like he just missed a corner, which is kind of weird that you miss a corner here at the 2.66 mile Super Speedway here at Talladega. But I mean, some guys, he just maybe didn't turn the wheel hard enough, maybe drifted up a little bit. Looked like McGough did hold his line, maybe come down just a tad, but Commons, obviously, he came up way more than McGough ended up coming down, and Commons goes for a hellacious ride, a big-time spin cycle that also collects a couple of more drivers. But we got another caution, Bradley, and I got a feeling it's just, I mean, just cautions is breeding cautions right now. There you see it, 4 cautions with 19 lead changes on the day. We've already had 2 big ones, more or less. I mean, that one right there, not necessarily a big one, just I guess you could say a semi-big one. But the 2 bigger wrecks that we had, the 2 big ones that we had earlier on in the race, really changed the complexity of this race so far.
Yeah, it really kind of put a shadow casted on the action that we were seeing in the first 16, 17 laps. Guys 3 wide for the lead. Lap after lap, we saw pretty clean racing for the most part. Guys were giving each other room, but now it's kind of a psychological defect of human beings that you get past the halfway point and you start thinking it's go time. You start to give a little less, and you start to take a little more. That's what racing's all about, and it's when you take too much, it comes back to get you.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what you get with super speedway racing. You know, guys end up seeing that carrot dangle in front of them. Bradley end up wanting to try to get up there, get a hold of the lead. They may see some kind of sign for them to be able to get up there. That right there was not necessarily one of those times where somebody saw a carrot dangle in front of them. I think it was just a misjudgment of what was going on right there. But I'm surprised that I'm not seeing a whole lot of drivers just duck down right here and top off with fuel to be able to try to make sure that they can make it to the end, because I mean, it's tight right here, give or take on fuel. But the main thing about it is these caution laps. I think this is what's really saving everybody, is these caution laps, just riding around, clutching the car, turning the car off and just clutching it and just coasting pretty much with the engine off. I think that's what's saving each and every one of these guys. So, like I said, it's going to be close. It's going to be tight, especially if we end up getting some green flag laps. Whoever's up there at the front, they're going to be foot to the floor. These other guys, they can about half throttle it, maybe 3/4 throttle it, and they can save a little bit of fuel if they are getting that tight on the fuel. It's like we're getting doubled up right here, Bradley.
Yes, we are. On lap 40, we'll come around for green at lap 41. 13 laps on the stint for your top 10. Goes all the way back to the 76 of Marshall Newton, who was just in front of that incident on lap 37 rather. So here we sit. We've got some guys that have burned fast repairs. A list of names that I got to read off here. You've got Joyner, you've got Walsh, you've got Petrin, you've got Sanders, McMurtry. Then there's a few drivers out of this race. Wisnowski done for the day. Stephen McGough, Ryan Commons. Randy Solé is still out there trying to get some repairs done. Joseph Terciano out of the race. And Spencer Johnson, the last car on this field. He is 10 laps down in 25th position. Jared Ziegler is going to lead him into turn 1. CJ Gates trying to go for win number 2. Ziegler, of course, got his win at Sonoma. That put him up as a name to be contended with, and now he's worked his way into the top 3 in points. You know this guy's serious, and he's going to get some laps left. He needs those bonus points. It's coming down to crunch time. He wants to take that lead away. Well, he picked a fine week to do it, because the 00 and the number 2 are not having good nights.
No, they are not. And also add Darlington to the list of tracks that Jared Ziegler has won. So he's won at a road course. He's won at one of the toughest tracks, that being Darlington. And now he's trying to see if he can win at one of the fastest tracks that racing has to offer. Green flag in the air here at Talladega once again. Ziegler able to get him a pretty good jump. CJ Gates, I should say, up there on the top side. He's going to get the shove from West. Now, here comes Morgan Cook down on the bottom side. He's got Nelson right behind him. West, he's got Allen right behind him. 2 by 2 by 2 for the first 6 cars. As you see a gaggle of them as they work their way off of turn 2.
And keep in mind, everyone that's nose to tail right now is on the same stint of fuel, and they have not burned those fast repairs at all. So these guys are still a little bit more racing than the rest of the field. They have a little bit more that they can give before it's over. 51 on the inside, pushing Ziegler through 3 and 4. CJ Gates with a hard pinch there. Kevin West all over the back bumper. Out of 4, surge of speed for the outside line. Is it going to be enough?
We'll see what happens. Looks like Gates is going to be able to get the run. Cook on the right side of Ziegler. Got to be very careful with that bump drafting, especially right there on the right side of Ziegler. You can use that to your advantage to try to be able to cool the engine off. Gates tries to come down, almost door bangs going into turn 1. Cook slides up. Gates, he's going to slide back. Now Cook, he is clear. Will he jump outside and try to go for the lead? He thought about it, but Gates able to get to his outside. He's got West, he's got Allen. He's got Wunsch back here trying to get the shove. Wilkin and Newton, all these guys back here trying to get the shove. Trying to help that 14 of CJ Gates, but now Ziegler, he's going to fight hard on the inside as they work their way off of turn 4.
Looking a little bit loose there for the 51 while he was glued to the back bumper of Ziegler. He's washing up the racetrack a lot here through the tri-oval. I know he's trying to keep that front end cool, but he's going to have to stay down. That 14 is pinching a lot in the entries in these corners.
Yeah, I mean, Gates! Gates goes around off the front bumper of Kevin West. Big time pile up back here. Look like, honestly, it was really only one car, that being CJ Gates. I think he has burned a fast repair already. So it looks like CJ Gates' night is over with, and caution is out once again here at Talladega.
Lap 43 for our 5th caution of the night. CJ Gates outside on the front row, goes around into turn 1. Let's hit the rewind button here. Vspeed instant replay. Figure it out.
Well, this is more or less a domino effect, to be honest with you right here, Bradley, because Allen
looked
gets
a little bit
into
like
West.
a Gen 4 move there, where the car came up maybe a little bit.
Well, maybe that's what it was, but I mean, I'm looking back about 2 or 3 rows. I'm looking back to where Brett Allen was. I think Allen ends up gets into West, then West ends up getting into Gates. A 3-car bump draft right there. I mean, you can 2-car bump draft all day long. 3 cars does not end up working out. And then Marshall Newton, wrong place, wrong time. The 97 Tyler Gifford, he's in the wrong place at the wrong time. Both of them end up getting into CJ Gates. But I think that's what it was right there, was just a bump from the 3rd lane, I guess you could say. And there you see Marshall Newton, just nowhere for him to go. He ends up getting involved and drives it up into the fence. But I mean, that's what happens, 3rd lane back. I've seen that in real racing right there, Bradley. I'm sure you have too. Well, just that 3rd lane, there you see Brett Allen, he gets into West. West gets into Gates, but he was off-centered, had him right there on the right side. It wasn't nothing West could do right there. There wasn't nothing the Gates could do. He was just along for the ride at that point.
So Ziegler's going to stay on the point here, that outside. Thankfully, this racetrack, designed the way that it is, they're still carrying enough speed there that they stayed up on the banking. But that 33 degrees, if you get this thing slowed down too fast, you will slide across the traffic. And that's why we have the big wrecks that we have here at Talladega, because everyone on the bottom thinks, well, I've got 3 feet here, I can clear it, and they stay on the throttle, and then suddenly that window just closes, slams shut on their fingers.
Yeah, Bradley, and that's happened to me a couple of times, to be honest with you. Sometimes, you feel like that maybe you can slide right by it at 180 miles an hour, and usually if it ends
up taking it all the way to the apron trying to miss it.
Well, either that or they end up cleaning you out, and then you're screwed and you're on the tow hook anyway. So, I mean, it's, like I said, damned if you do, damned if you don't in that point, but I mean, you can either lock them up and slide it right into them, or you can try to gas up and try to get around them. One thing I do want to mention right here is that I just saw Daniel Monix end up going by the leader. Remember, folks, he was down 2 laps. All of these cautions right here has got the point leader back on the lead lap with the rest of the field. So maybe Monix has got that car wound up, got it straightened back out. So looks like it's still got some dings in it right there. We'll see if Molnix can try to get back up here and get back into the fight here at Talladega.
He still has his fast repair. He's going to come back in one more time to get some more of this repaired. And, I mean, kudos to him for all the things he's been involved in tonight. How is he keeping this fast repair? He's doing it 1 lap at a time here. You just got to keep coming down pit road and keep the fenders on it. That's all you can pray for.
Well, Bradley, that's actually news to me. Hell, I thought he burned the fast repair already. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's...
Looking through here, it's got a 0-1 on that FR, so I think he's good to go. He's saving it in his back pocket.
I don't blame him a bit right here, and this could be a great strategy for Daniel Monix. I mean, you look back at this right here, and if you see the number 2 up there finish in the top 5 here at the end of this race, you'll know exactly why, because he made a great strategy call to not burn that fast repair when he really could have. When he really could have just went in there and said, yep, check it, I'm going to go ahead and burn it. So we'll see what happens right here. He stayed in there and got him a little bit more damage fixed. Looks like he's going to beat that pace car off them.
So Ziegler, Cook, West, Nelson, Allen, the top 5. The 13 has been in and out of the lead several times. He just wants somebody dedicated to the Stars and Stripes on the back of that bumper to push him to victory. When we talk about Brent Allen's race, when we were here in the Gen 4 series, I mean, that car was up front for 90% of the day. Just, those last 10 laps, it just didn't work out, and things got, a scuffle, and we went into green-white checkered territory. So many things happened, so many scenarios that, just guys going for the same piece of real estate, trying to get the win.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like you was talking about with drivers that need to try to find somebody to pair up with, because what's going to happen right here, if you end up having people that's not willing to work together and stay committed together, that's when you're going to end up seeing cautions breeding cautions right here, because nobody willing to work together. Everybody's going to be out for themselves. So that's when you end up seeing some of the chaos that we usually see when guys try to stick their nose somewhere that it really doesn't need to be. And then obviously out there, kind of that lone wolf mentality, that's when you end up seeing some of these wrecks when guys just trying to be out for themselves.
Well, I got to say, I'm pretty guilty of it when it comes down to the last 5 or so laps. I start making a lot of selfish calls, and I'm just trying to put that car in a position to where I can make a pass. I don't want to be in the lead. Never want to be the leader here at Talladega on the final lap. I want to be that car that's on the outside, kind of like where that 51 is right now. I like where he is right now. But that's my bias showing a little bit here.
Oh, yeah.
But I do like to see a guy on the outside there just to have that run out of turn 4, somebody that's locked to the bumper. It's a good chance. It's probably one of your best opportunities if you could weigh all the statistics. The car that leads the white flag does not usually lead the checkered. Here we go. Back underway. We'll take the green flag. 14 laps to go.
Crank up the band. It's showtime here at Talladega. Green flag once again. And Ziegler, he has fired off, and he is away. Morgan Cook, he's actually got a little bit closer help behind him with Caleb Nelson back here, able to get to his back bumper before West can get to Ziegler's. Now, West gets into the back of Ziegler, tries to get him going. Nelson, he's already got Morgan Cook going. Now Warch gonna get up here. Allen's gonna get up here. Everybody trying to go to the top side. They're trying to hang Ziegler out. Nelson shoves Cook all the way to the lead. Cook is clear. Well, he jumped down to the bottom. It looks like that's exactly where he's gonna go. So it looks like Nelson gonna try to lead this outside lane and try to get back up here where Morgan Cook is. Maybe not. Ziegler turned on him. Now here he comes. He's gonna go with Nelson to try to go around the outside for the lead.
They played him like a fiddle. Morgan Cook left out to dry. That's what the 07 and 57 probably wanted all along. They get connected to the bumper. They say sayonara to the outside and take over the point again.
Big time battles, big time moves going on here at Talladega in the waning laps here for the QSR Xfinity Series. Jared Ziegler down on the bottom side. He's got Cook with him. Now Caleb Nelson getting the shove from Galen Woods. And don't look now, Brent Allen up there trying to get the top side working with Ronnie Joyner. But Caleb Nelson, he's going to slide up here. He says, I'm your Huckleberry. That's just my game. The 07 of Caleb Nelson trying to go back-to-back here with the QSR Xfinity Series.
We got some guys trying to get their second win, some guys trying to get their third. 57 down there on the bottom has a great opportunity right now. 12 laps to go now as they cross the stripe. 51 tags the apron, breaks up the momentum slightly on the inside. West follows him down there, almost bobbles up into the 199 of Galen Wunsch.
And how about Trent Wilkin right here in this 12 car, Bradley? We talked about him a while ago. Talked about him not having the night that he really needed. Obviously started on the pole, saw him drift back a little bit. Now he's worked his way up here to get inside the top 10 right here in the closing laps here at Talladega. Mike Peter tried to go to the top side. 95 of Paul Yala. Nobody went with him. They played him like a fiddle. So now Petron's going to slide back to his teammate, Ronnie Joyner, and jump right into the hole on the top side. Caleb Nelson still trying to get the shove from Wunsch and try to get the top side working. But up front, Jared Ziegler still got the shove from Morgan Cook as now Nelson gets up to his door going into one.
That outside line just a little bit stronger through the exit of that tri-oval. And like I said, that outside run is where I want to be Morgan Cook kind of buries himself down here after he dropped down in front of West. And West isn't able to do anything with it. Yeah, the 57 is just holding on, but that 51's got to be getting hot here as they go into turn 3. The 07 and 199, they can breathe a little bit on that outside. There's nobody up there. They can afford as a pinch here going into 3 and 4. But you can see the 199 at once. He is able to breathe just a little bit, come up on the outside of the the 00 or 07 rather. And looks like Cook's going to try. He's going to leave the 57 out to dry. Change for a position going into turn 1.
Looks like Cook is going to be able to get the shove, but he gets it right in the right rear, able to keep it straight. Caleb Nelson gives him the shove. Once right behind them, Wilkin trying to go with West and Ziegler. Allen goes way up the racetrack, but nobody ends up going with Brett Allen. So Allen all by himself. He jumps back down in front of Mike Petrie. Here comes Wunsch. Wunsch gonna get the shove. On the outside, Paul Ayala. We talked about him a while ago. Started 21st, he's up to 7th. And how about Frank Walsh in the 54? Started 23rd. He has worked his way up here in the top 10 right here in the last 10 laps. 10 to go, 9 to go this time here at Talladega, Bradley.
We could see a repeat of what Wisnowski pulled off. He was started deep in the field. And he's sitting right in that position right now. The 54 can see the seas part. He can move right up to the first position, all within 1,000 feet. You never know here at Talladega. I've said it 100 times here on Vspeed. They should change the name of this place to Las Vegas because you are gambling every single lap.
Yeah, it's like a damn roulette wheel. Throw 25 numbers out there, spin the ball, and see which one it lands on up front. You got the odds-on favorites right now. So far, Jared Ziegler, Morgan Cook. Cook getting the shove from another one. Caleb Nelson trying to go back-to-back. One last week at Homestead. Kevin West, he is rolling down there. Got the TikTok trailer park dude down there on the bottom side trying to go with Ziegler. Cook trying to get Nelson to go with him. Wilkin and Wunsch trying to go as well. Basically the top 6, top 8. All of them basically a pace mile formation. Only difference is, Bradley, they're going 190 miles an hour here at the 2.66 mile Talladega.
That battle for position there on that outside. Keep in mind the 51 had to repair some damage the old-fashioned way. Wanted to keep that fast repair, and that might be what's preventing this outside line from actually getting going. That 07's been strong, pushing guys by. But Ziegler and the 1 of Kevin West have been able to hang on to it down on the bottom. It's the first time we've seen it all race.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job. Brent Allen gonna jump up to the top side. He's got Quentin Stewart way back there, but Allen trying to side draft off of Caden Deerdich. We talked about him a while ago. Hell, he was going a lap down. He gets into the back of Ayala. Petrie gets tagged in the back end by Stewart, but everybody keeps it clean just for now. I'm telling you, Bradley, this is like Daytona Beach right now all day long. This is the calm before the storm. 3 wide back here with Ayala, Allen, and another driver to his inside. I believe that is Wunsch. So a lot of action going on right here in the middle of this pack.
It's getting turbulent. Coming up on 6 to go when they cross the stripe. They're going to start a 3-wide train here on the outside. The 95 is going to move up in front of Allen. 13 car just can't find a partner.
No, I mean, he cannot. I mean, Allen has really went to the top side, basically by himself the whole time, just praying somebody will go with that 13. And that 13 is very, very fast here in Talladega. Now Allen, he says, screw it. Y'all don't want to go with me, I'll go with you. Tag Deerdrich, now big time wreck. Petrie gets in it. McGough gets in it. Ayala gets in it. Allen on his lid, rolling through turn 1 and 2, sliding down on his roof. Caution out once again here at Talladega as Brett Allen is upside down in turn number 2.
Forgot to turn off the camera there for a moment and all that action, but we got a good angle there of the crash on board with Brent Allen in real time.
Woo. Boy, Brandon, I'm telling you, this right here, this was a rough one right here. Allen obviously has shot up to the outside numerous times, and tried to get something going. And I thought actually Allen got into the back of Derdich, but I'm mistaken on that one. He never touched him. Derdich just loses it right there. I mean, he just lost it right there, literally going into turn 1. It ends up coming down the racetrack, gets into some other drivers, and then Allen, just out of nowhere, got tagged to the left rear, ends up sending him upside down, sliding on his roof down into the grass off of turn 2. Check it out. Once again, you got Petrin in the middle. There's Randy Sal, 6 laps down right there, just riding around, just trying to salvage what he can. There you see Derdich come down, get into Petrin. Petrin comes up, gets into Allen. Allen gets tagged about 3 or 4 times, and finally just goes all the way up on the wall and literally rides it all the way, pulled a Martin Truex kind of style from Richmond. But then eventually it just ended up going on its lid and slid all the way down to 33 degrees of banking here at Talladega, folks. This is going to be a hell of a ride. There you see Allen. Just listen to this right here.
This is the point where you're praying that car will roll back over so you can get it to pit road, and it doesn't.
Well, even if he did end up making it to pit road right there, I'm not 100% if he had a fast repair or not. There you see him actually spinning the wheels, just trying to see if maybe he can get it to roll over. Try to do something, but it didn't work.
he had one. Unfortunately, the 13 did, but he has to tow. That's going to put him a couple laps down here by the time he gets the car into service mode after that tow. He's going to lose a ton of time.
Yeah, unfortunate for Brett Allen, who was doing a fantastic job driving through the field. He was doing he was doing a great job. I think he just needed somebody to go with him, and nobody ended up going with him. And finally, he just said, you know what? I'm just going to send it. We're going to see if we can make it stick. And then, unfortunately, he just got in the wrong lane at the wrong time. Derdich gets loose and ends up taking out about 5 or 6 drivers right there that's going to have damage. I believe I saw Mike Petrin have some damage. He's already burned the fast repair, as you alluded to earlier, Bradley. So he's going to be down pit road trying to get some of that damage fixed for a little bit.
Well, I think we're going to pull a driver in that got involved in some stuff earlier. It's CJ Gates in the number 14. Gates, you were looking for your second win here. Unfortunately, the race doesn't pan out. You got a copy with us? Might have stepped away there for a moment, but we'll try to see if we can dial him back up here momentarily. But I tell you, man, it's one of those racetracks that if you're not prepared every step of the way, every moment, you blink an eye, you sneeze wrong, you just look away from your monitor, the cat jumps up on the keyboard. Shout out to Max Cost on that one. But anything can happen that can distract you for just a blink of an eye. And there goes your race, because that's all it takes for these guys to get crashed and be out.
Yeah, I mean, that's all it takes. And, I think that's why a lot of fans love this type of racing right here, Bradley. They love the excitement. They love the big packs of cars going around racing 2, 3, 4, and sometimes even 5 wide here at Talladega, which is why a lot of people come from miles around. They come from Canada. They come from, hell, Australia, if it came down to it, from France, wherever. This place right here, it is world famous just because of the product that gets put on the racetrack, and because of the unpredictability, the speeds, the excitement, the party in the infield, Bradley. I mean, just so much happens right here at Talladega. And it's like I said, that's why this place is straight up world famous, because it lives up to the name that this is more than a race. This really is Talladega.
Well, I don't know if I can say the word Indy on the iRacing's terms of service, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. We had IndyCar racing there. Speaking of parties in the infield, got to meet Adam Baker for the first time over the weekend. Vspeed United. We had Alex Gagnon, Logan Threlkeld, Seth Hatchell was there. We had, I would say, 40% of Vspeed meeting up. Next year we're getting... Oh, man, we're getting a parking pass. I tell you what, you don't realize how big these places are until you walk the entire perimeter of one of these racetracks. And that backstretch that takes you 24 seconds to run down, well, it takes you about 30 minutes to cross it.
Yeah, and I know exactly what you're talking about as far as walking to, walking to the racetrack. Think right here at Talladega, folks, right here coming off of 3 and 4 over across from Talladega Boulevard, right there where the highway is that leads you into the racetrack. There's a little campground over there off of turn 3. It's called the North Park Free Camping. That's where I camped at for many, many years. Me and my dad would go for the spring race. We would always go up there and watch some of the best racing, obviously, here at Talladega. But, folks, you get lucky. You get to catch a tram. It would take you all the way from there. It would take you all the way to the front gate. When you end up going in there, here's the problem. When you left the race on Sunday, that tram didn't run. So guess what? You had to walk. And it is a long walk, especially when you've had a couple of beers and got a little buzz going on when you're trying to get back to your campsite.
But it's still a long walk in this race. We're going to go with 2 to go. A natural occurring green-white checkered. We're still going to have a couple more attempts at it here if we can't get to the white flag. Green flag is out, though, and the 57 of Ziegler leads him into turn 1. I like it again here, Jake, where that 51 car is.
Yeah, I mean, but everybody's really spaced out right here. Nobody's really tucked up behind
they're
somebody.
trying to get a run.
At least till they get to turn 1 right here, coming off of turn 2. Morgan Cook, he's got Nelson right behind him. Ziegler gonna get a little bit of a shot from Kevin West. He's got Wilkin right behind him. Not too far back from all of this. You got Marshall Newton trying to give the shove to Quentin Stewart. They're going to go to the top side. Quentin Stewart, but he's going to be all by himself. Marshall Newton does not go with Quentin Stewart. Morgan Cook is driving the race of his life, trying to get up here and have a shot, as it looks like they are going to maybe make it back to the white flag right here, Bradley. I got a feeling this is going to be another Gen 4 all over again.
Off of the tri-oval, white flag is in the air. They keep it clean across the line. It's official now. White flag in the air here for QSR Xfinity Series. Morgan Cook takes over the point. The 07 moves out. Not yet. They're sizing it up here for the run out of turn 4. Who's going to go with who? Quentin Stewart on the outside with the 95. Big wreck. The 00, Randy Swale is in the wall. They're going to stay going down the backstretch.
And check it out on the top side. You got Paul Ayala. He's going to try to roll up here on the top side. He's got Quentin Stewart right behind him up front. It is all Jared Ziegler. Kevin West may try to jump up now. Wilkin, he gets tagged. Morgan Cook able to get by. They're crashing. They're flipping all over the place. Whole damn field piling in as Morgan Cook gets into the back of Kevin West. Ziegler trying to go down to the bottom side. Monix, Daniel Monix, far wide at the finish line. Who got it? It was Morgan Cook by 3 1,000ths of a second.
Oh, my God. Oh, wow.
Have you ever, Bradley?
I've never seen that.
Have you ever?
I've never. That is a finish. Yeah, my bias is going to show again. Daniel Molnix, where did he come from?
I have no idea where Molnix came from, but it's like I talked about, Bradley. He ended up finishing in the top 5. That strategy of saving that fast repair, doing all that strategy to be able to make it work. It ends up working out for Daniel Molnix. He gets 4th, but I'm telling you, Bradley, that was one hell of a finish right there. I don't know where he came from, but, I mean, I've never seen that right there ever. It's like I said, me and you, we talked about it on the door banging download. There ain't nothing going to beat that Gen 4 race. Holy cow. Yes, it did tonight.
Right there on the back of it, door banging download. Go check it out on Spotify. And subscribe to Vspeed, it's on the car. What a finish here for QSR's Xfinity Series. And just a photo finish, 4 wide across the line with Kevin West, Jared Ziegler, Daniel Wonex, and your winner, Morgan Cook, by 3 1,000ths of a second. We got to rewind it back here. I don't know how, but I know how many. That's 2 now for Team Vspeed. We got to go back.
I mean, Bradley, I'm at a loss for words. There you see Morgan Cook comes down, tries to get the side draft to pull West back. At this point right here, Kevin West, hell, it's his race. But then Morgan Cook able to fire back on the outside and get the run, folks. This is a close one right here. Monix, hell, he went up. Look at that right there. You cannot script that any better right there, Bradley. That is an awesome camera. I mean, that's how crazy it is right there. Literally from the outside all the way down. That's literally how they finish, from the top all the way to the bottom. 4 drivers right there. That is unbelievable. I have never seen anything like that in my entire life. iRacing, real racing, whatever, you name it. Best race of the year, hands down right there.
I didn't think he had enough on the outside. I don't know where it came from. I mean, that car is going to go through so many tech inspections post-race. It's going to be unbelievable. I don't even know. I'm at a loss for words. The only thing I can say right now is you're watching the QSR Xfinity Series. I can't even say that right now. QSR Xfinity Series live on Vspeed, and just an amazing finish. The top 4 separated by 6 1/1000ths of a second. The entire top 4.
That is unbelievable. I'm still lost. I mean, I am straight up still lost for words right here, Bradley, as to what we just seen here this season. Bradley, I mean, I have to say this. I don't know if we can do this. I think we need to bring all 4 of them up here and do a 4 deal, because that right there, I think every one of those guys, all 4 of them deserves to get a post-race interview after that right there.
I mean, we got to go on board with Daniel Molnix here, show you the run. This happens right in front of him here, and even after the contact, he's still on the pedal, stays on it all the way through. Morgan Cook and Kevin West have contact a couple different times, all the way down to the yellow line. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I mean, I guess you can say he got forced down there, I guess, if you want to put it that
there's
way.
no more room.
Yeah, I mean, he had to go somewhere. I mean, at that point, I mean, screw it at that point. I mean, if you're going to make a good finish out of it, and you're going to go below the yellow line, make a good finish out of it, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, kudos to each and every one of these guys right here, because, like I said, hell of a race, hell of a finish right there.
Yeah, I'm trying to back this up to get a good photo finish of it, because this is something that we probably should screenshot and hang on a wall somewhere, that you're not going to see them again. This doesn't happen like this. So to see this right here,
That's awesome.
That's just it doesn't get any closer than that.
I mean, that is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
One more time. I'm gonna try it one more time here, if I can get it just paused just right. Nope, I'm pausing it just a little bit too soon. Hey, awesome camera work, huh? Yeah. Tell you what, Vspeed, we just got all the work we can put in here. But you guys out there at QSR, you made it happen. That's a phenomenal finish here. And that's as close as it gets here from QSR. We'll never top it, but I'll tell you what, we got some guys to round up. Let's take our post-race here. We're going to take a quick commercial break live from Talladega. It was officially unofficial 6 1/1000ths of a second. We still got some things to unpack here from Talladega here on Vspeed.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back live from Talladega Super Speedway, and an unbelievable finish. 6 1,000ths of a second separate your top four across the line. Morgan Cook is victorious here today, but here is the final results up on your screen. No, you're not reading that wrong. I'm telling you what, Daniel Molnix, it gives him a .012, but on my other chart, it's 006 all the way down. I mean, timing and scoring is just all over the place for me here tonight. Ziegler, I mean, I'll take a screenshot of that and send it to you, but that top four is all messed up. It's still trying to figure it out for me on my end. I don't know about you, Jake, but that's what he gave me. So, yeah, sort that one out for me. Anyway, yeah, let's go. Kevin West is going to come home in second position with Jared Ziegler in third. Daniel Molnix all the way down on the apron of the racetrack below that yellow, trying to come home and get the win. Quentin Stewart gets a top five right behind all of it. Reed Sanders sixth. Marshall Newton, the 76, gets seventh here tonight. He picked up, it was Reed Sanders that picked up 19 spots here today. Derek McMurtry had blinking issues all night, was able to salvage today and come home in 8th. Frank Walsh in 9th. And Paul Ayala is going to bring home your top 10.
Then Mike Petrin able to fight back. Yeah, Ayala. We'll go with that. We're still in kind of shock from what we just saw here. Mike Petrin ends up getting 11th. Caden Deerdich will end up finishing 12th. Tyler Giffen had kind of a quiet night, I guess you could say. He's going to end up finishing in the 13th position. Ronnie Joyner, last car on the lead lap, got wrecked or coming to the line. He will finish 14th. The rest of these drivers one lap down or more. Caleb Nelson will get 15th. Trenton Wilkins, 16th. Galen Watch gets 17th. Brett Allen with the hellacious ride on his roof will end up finishing in the 18th spot. Randy Solly will end up finishing 19th, and Stephen McGough gets 20th.
And it's worth noting, Daniel Molnix was 2 laps down at some point in this race. I just wanted to throw that back out there to come home in 4th. Kudos to him. He probably feels like he passed 1 million cars. So that's probably our biggest gainer of the night, was that guy that came back and got a top 5. CJ Gates, who led a lot of laps here today, got spun there going into turn 1. He'll finish 21st. Tried to get a word with him there. Ryan Commons involved in a couple different incidents here today. He'll finish 22nd. Ethan Wisnowski, winner in the Thursday night, he is going to finish 23rd out of the race. Spencer Johnson, 23rd. Ryan Commons, this is, again, my timing and scoring doing its awesomeness here. It's Joseph Terciano that's going to be 25th, and then it's the number 19 machine of Andrew Keisler, 33 laps down here today. But now we got some interviews to do, and I'm losing my voice just even thinking about what I'm going to say or how I'm going to comprehend all this. But we're actually going to bring up a 4th place finisher, Daniel Molnix. This guy right here, Jake, I mean, take it away. You got 1,001 questions for me. He passed 1,001 cars.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Molnix ends up finishing 4th here tonight. Daniel, I just asked the question that's on everybody else's mind. Where the hell did you come from? Because you were 2 laps down at one point, and then you end up finishing 4th in one of the craziest finishes that I think any of us has ever seen.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was I had got caught up in that first wreck. I was running the top lane up there, and I don't know what happened on the bottom, but it came up and killed my car. I had right in that first wreck, I had like 5 minutes of damage to get fixed. But I was like, okay, well, I really don't want to use my fast repair this early because my luck, had I used it, I would have got caught up in a wreck 2 laps later, and then I would have been done. So I was like, I'll just wait it out and see how much damage I can get fixed. And sure enough, I mean, the cautions kept falling one after the other. I managed to get back on the lead lap, and I was like, okay, then that last caution came out. I said, I'm gonna go down and use my fast repair now, and then just hope for the best.
And Daniel, I mean, you was able to hope for the best. Kind of got right there, like I said, 4 wide at the line. Something that, like I said, I don't think any of us has ever seen. I mean, did you think maybe you had it at the line, or was you just happy to be a part of it at that point?
I mean, I was just happy to be a part of it. Me and Morgan were actually talking over in the waiting room. He said if the start finish line had been another 100 feet further down, that would have been my race. I would have won it. But no, coming to the checker, I seen obviously the wreck. I got through that luckily, and I seen them up front 3 wide, and then I think it was Morgan and Kevin got together a little bit, and I was like, okay, they're going to lose a little speed from that, and I've got this huge run anyway because they're 3 wide, and from what I understand, there's not a yellow line rule that we run here in QSR,
Okay.
especially coming to the checker. Um, so I was like, well, I would expect somebody to do that to me, take it on the apron for a shot at it.
I'm going to go
So,
Bill France on you, Daniel. I hate to interrupt, but if there's not a rule, there might be tomorrow.
oh, well, okay. Well, hey, I still got fourth out of it. Even if the rule does show up tomorrow,
You wrote it.
How
yeah,
about
yeah.
that?
But man, that was so much fun. I'm surprised I even got back up there, honestly.
Yellow line be damned here tonight for the QSR Xfinity Series. Daniel Monix comes home fourth. And Daniel, before we let you go, you got any sponsors, any shout outs that you want to give?
QSR, Quentin, Ronnie, uh, all the admins over there, they put on a great league. It's fun to be a part of. Vspeed, you guys, week after week, putting on good broadcast, good commentary, everything. A lot of the guys over at the Venom Motorsports, there was quite a few of us in here tonight, and we couldn't all get lined up, but we still, for the most part, had decent finishes.
Daniel Monix still trying to catch his breath just like we are and just like you are at home, folks. Ends up finishing fourth here this evening. Daniel, appreciate your time. Congratulations on that fourth place finish. And we'll see you next week at a track that you know very well. That's Rockingham.
Oh yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
Moving on up pit road, we've got a couple more drivers that we're going to talk to outside of victory lane. Jared Ziegler is going to bring it home in third position here tonight. And that's our cue right there to bring him up here into the Vspeed booth. And Jared, I tell you what, man, you were down there on the inside. Everyone had abandoned you. It was almost like kind of like what we saw in the Thursday night race, but it happened behind you, unfortunately, and then everyone had abandoned that back bumper. It was just a drag race coming out of turn 4, but just walk us through what was going through your mind as you crossed the line.
I didn't know what was going on in my mind coming across the line. I thought I won it. Is the entry of the tri-oval, the 51 and the 1, I was looking right, and they both the 51 hit the 1's right rear really hard on my screen at least. So I'm like, oh, they're wrecking. And I look in my mirror and I see the 2 coming. I'm like, well, he shouldn't be able to get to me. Surprise, he did. And then I look back in front of me and I'm like, wait, these guys didn't wreck? And like, well, I must have the momentum, right? Nah, I don't know. It was fun. That's probably the cleanest 4-wide finish for the win I've ever seen at Talladega or even Daytona for that matter. I have huge respect for all 3 of those guys. We raced, Morgan and I, Kevin and I raced last 20 laps, probably side by side, nose to tail, and we never touched each other other than the bumps to push each other. So huge respect to all of them. They just small margin of error could have killed everyone in that entire race. It was really fun. Sucks we came third, but I mean, coming third at Talladega, you can't be mad about that. It's so hard to finish at these races, so I'll gladly take third.
Well, I feel you on that. That's why I'm not out there today. I just, man, I mean, unpacking this race, you put your car up at the end of this race. You kind of sheltered back in the mid pack for a little bit of the beginning portion. We didn't really touch on it too much there with Molnix, but I want to ask you, during the start of this race, did it just feel like guys were a little too anxious there up at the front?
Oh yeah, they were. Um, I mean, my teammates and I, we qualified, and we're like, if we qualify up front, we'll stay up there. But we all qualified like mid pack, so Caleb and I both jumped back super quick. Marshall kind of hung around a little bit to kind of test the waters, and about I don't know 10 laps in the race, he bailed with us as well, and we were just running back and just saving fuel. We had a caution to a point where it could have been a fuel saving race. About 43, 44 to go. We can make about 42 laps on fuel, so we were trying to save a little bit. We're just running back there. Then another caution comes out, so that just threw the strategy out the window. And then when that got thrown out the window, we said, "All right, it's time to go." We took our fuel, got to the lead, and I mean, we were trying to get all of us a lap led. We didn't get Marshall his, but Caleb and I both got ours. I think I got the most laps led as well. So I think our strategy worked out pretty well. We were all running top 5 there coming to the white flag. I don't know what particular car back there was doing at middle of 3 and 4. Just there was no reason for a wreck there, and that took both of them out. And that really sucks for them. They were running for points. I was just out there to have fun. Uh, I'm pretty comfortable where I'm at in points, so I was kind of our sacrificial lamb for fuel wise, but and here I am, the one that's getting the most points out of all of us, highest finish. So I don't know, it was fun, strategy wise, and just racing wise, it was fun racing with all those guys up front.
Well, and overall, I mean, just a great finish to capitalize on all of it. You guys put together a great show. I know a little more cautions than maybe guys wanted, but overall, you're hopefully going to end up on the iRacing top 10 for this one. This is the closest finish that me and Jake have ever seen. Definitely a closest that I've seen on Vspeed, and we've been doing it for 3 years. So you guys are going in some record books, and I just want to tell you, 6 1,000ths of a second on one board, 3 1,000ths of a second on another. Timing and scoring couldn't even figure it out. So there was a lot there, but we have the photograph. We've screenshotted it, and just, you know, we're talking like splitters on these cars that separated you guys across that line. Congrats on the finish, man. Anybody come to mind that you want to shout out here before we let you go?
Of course, teammates Caleb Nelson, Marshall Newton. Like I said, they had a poor finish there with the wreck right at the end of a race. Caleb, I think, got down to 15, so that really hurts his point scenario trying to race his way in. And then Marshall, he finished 7th, so that's solid. Coming out of Talladega, he's going to earn points, so that's good for him. And like I said, Morgan, Kevin, Daniel, the guys that are racing up front towards the end, like, we could have had a minor mistake and all of us could have died there on that photo finish. And whoever finished 5th, I think it was Quentin, could have ended up winning the race. So congrats to them. Congratulations to Morgan and Kevin. It was super fun. Thanks for you guys for broadcasting. And lastly, I do want to give a thanks to Kyle McGee. He was my memorial tribute this week for Memorial Day. He was an Army Staff Sergeant. He died in 2020 in a helicopter crash while peacekeeping in Egypt. So I just want to give a shout out to him and his family. Hopefully everyone's doing well there. The Fisher House, I put them on the sponsor this weekend for the Memorial Day weekend. If you have any money to spare, please help them out. They help out all of the veterans families who have either got injured or killed in action. They do a fantastic job for everyone. And thanks to all our soldiers who have, of course, given their lives and are fighting every single day to keep it peaceful so we can do this every single week. It's been a blast to do this, and I can't do it without them, so I want to thank all of them. So on that note, thank you guys for broadcasting, and I can't wait to race next week at Rockingham.
Well said on all accounts there, Jared, and congrats on third place. But, it means nothing without those people that are willing to make that ultimate sacrifice and put their lives on the line to defend our freedoms and give us the opportunity to have these real-time connections to race here, even if it's virtual and even in real life and all the aspects of that. Jared Ziegler, third place here tonight. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
So that moves us to second place, Kevin West, in the number 1 machine. I'm going to let you take this one, Jake. Here we go down pit road.
Absolutely, Kevin West gets second. Kevin, I mean, wow. I mean, buddy, I mean, we still try to catch our breath. I'm sure you are. I mean, just tell us about that last lap. I mean, anything short of just driving Morgan up into the fence. I mean, was there anything else that you could have done right there to get the win?
Well, first of all, sorry I'm late, boys. It was a hot one out here at Talladega. I had to go to the infield care center real quick and get a couple of IVs. But
Oh, wow.
I'm telling you, I got to go back and watch that one, boys. That was maybe the best finish I've ever seen on iRacing in the history of iRacing.
There you have it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Bradley's already talking about we're going to try to see if we can maybe get our racing to see that. May end up being on the top 10 list for May. So we'll see how that works out. But I mean, Kevin, amazing. You talked about it. You pretty much just summed it up. I mean, it's one of the best finishes that you've ever seen. I mean, I really don't know what else to say. I mean, this is just, I'm still speechless. Kevin and Brad, I'm just still speechless because I've never seen anything like this. But Kevin, I mean, what else could you have done? I mean, really, what else could you have done?
I came down to block Morgan there, and he gave me a little bit of a shot, but he still had so much momentum that he still got to my outside. The 57, I tried to pull him back. I tried to get on his right rear, pull him back. I think Morgan was doing the same thing to me, and then Molnix just came out of nowhere. I didn't even know he was down there until I saw the photo. But yeah, man, that was all I had. I mean, I don't think I could have done anything different, unfortunately. But man, what a finish!
Absolutely. Kevin West ends up finishing second here tonight and one of the closest finishes, one of the wildest finishes I think any of us has ever seen on our racing. And Kevin, before we let you go, you got any sponsors, any shout outs you want to thank for making it possible?
Shout out to Vspeed. You guys are the best. The number 1 broadcast network for iRacing on YouTube. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to all of my mobile homies, of course, on TikTok at Trailer Park Dude. Head on over. You guys like that finish? We got more where that came from, baby.
Yeah, I got a feeling we'll probably end up seeing it all over the place. Your TikTok, my TikTok, hell, if Vspeed's got one, it'll probably be on that one as well, Kevin. Appreciate your time. Congratulations on a photo finish, second place finish. I know that sounds kind of weird, but congratulations on that. And we'll see you next week at Rockingham, buddy.
All right, Jake, we'll see you there, bud.
Well, that brings us to our final driver of the night here for post-race interviews. Your winner in the 51 machine, Morgan Cook. And we let him simmer down just enough. I think he can put words together now. We had a hard time for a while, Morgan, to be able to do that. But, I mean, just... I watched it back about 10 more times, and I still can't figure out how you had enough momentum coming out of turn 4 to be able to get into the back of Kevin West just enough to wiggle him around, pull them back, and then that extra 1,600 feet to the start finish line by 3/1000ths of a second. Just amazing.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm glad that they built this racetrack this way with that extra long run to the front to the start finish line, or else I was finishing third. Obviously, it just worked out. But yeah, going into turn 3, Let's talk about that a little bit. Down the back, I'm second car in line. I'm watching the replay back right now. Second car in line, and I'm just riding on the front bumper of the '07. Third lane forms on the outside. I'm thinking I'm cooked. Like, we're going to be fourth place here at best. Not sure what happened with the 12, if he just didn't realize I was out there. But we had some pretty hefty net code. He was inside my car for a bit. That was a little scary. And I just kept my foot in it. And good thing I did, because Wunsch came up and got me a little bit, narrowed it up for me. But I was following the one, and I got this good run. He went to the top and got loose. I got to the outside wall a little bit, and then ran to the back of him, thinking, "Hey, that might just be what I need to get him a little bit loose and maybe get the run of the momentum." Didn't realize 57 was down there. Had no idea he was there. Didn't know the 2 was there, and I got behind the 1 a little bit, side drafted him back, and it was just enough at the line and another 200 feet, and that's Molnick's victory. And yeah, just never had a finish like that before.
Yeah, that's anybody's race really coming through there in that last portion of the racetrack. And you're on the outside, and they talked about the side draft, how much that it came into play. But here today, man, you were dodging bullets all race long. There were so many opportunities for this 51 car to be out of the race right there at the beginning of the race. Then you had the 3 come across your nose. You didn't burn the fast repair. You fixed it the old-fashioned way. How many times here today did you feel like it got away from you, and then right there at the very end?
Well, yeah, caution wise, I mean, those 2 come to mind for sure. There was another one where I think it was Gates and West wrecked right outside of me. I was on the bottom, they were on the top. I was the leader of the inside lane, and yeah, they went around up top. So that's another one. Then just the last couple restarts, I mean, every time I would get a run on Ziegler to go get the lead, the caution come right before I got there. Could go push and get up to the top 2 or 3, and then it just couldn't get to the lead. And on that last restart, I thought I lost it on the backstretch, or actually into turn 1 on the final lap. Had the momentum. I only needed another 3 feet, and I was clear the 57 could drop down and control the race. But something happened behind me. They went 3 wide. And I lost all the momentum and just couldn't get it back until obviously the front stretch, when there's only 3 of us drag racing to the line.
And it was essentially that. And we, even after the fact, crossing the line, had no clue. We thought maybe Molnick had got it because of the momentum that he carried there down on the bottom of the racetrack after the line. It looked like he had it. But you guys, I'll send you the screenshots. They're just unbelievable.
I got one.
They're just unbelievable here tonight, man. It's just one of those finishes that we talked about Thursday night there last week, where, you know, the 15 of Wisnowski got the win, and it was just one of those photo finishes on its own. And then you guys come out and said, "Hold my beer. We've got this. We're going to put on an even better show." And just QSR as a whole has been just a phenomenal spectacle to watch here. It's been great. I mean, you can't script it. You can't do any better than this.
Yeah, what'd you think of that one, Jake?
It beat the Gen 4 race, I ain't gonna lie.
Didn't you go on your podcast and say that was one of the greatest iRacing finishes you've ever seen? Not to be topped, pack it in. I think those were your exact words, Jake.
Yeah, I'm eating my own words on that one, buddy. I got a feeling. Yep.
I think we're gonna have to
Go check out the Norbang and download for
Yes.
for that little bit of crow. But yeah, this was unreal. I mean, we were always up at the front in this Vspeed 51. I'm really glad about that, and it just could never really find someone to work with. I was hoping that somewhere something would shake out where I could push somebody or get pushed by somebody to go secure a good finish. But every time I looked up, there was a new top 5 with me being the only car that stayed there. So I just had to make do with what I had, and obviously it worked out.
Did it pretty much? I mean, when it came down to it, it wasn't a faction, it wasn't partnership, it was just pure reaction and talent that got guys to the position to try to win this race. And we're talking everybody that was up here across that line, they made a decision. We're talking about, you know, split second, fractions of a second that you guys had to make these choices, and all 4 of you ultimately just one choice, and you made the right one to come out on top. Morgan Cook, congratulations. That puts 2 in the column here for Team Vspeed. My bias is showing again, though. Anybody you want to shout out for the victory?
Well, obviously, got to shout out QSR, Quentin, all the admins. I mean, they put these races on all the time, and they're always great races to both broadcast and race in. Even when I get wrecked out 20 laps into Bristol, that's neither here nor there. But I really like this league, and this is the only league that I race in, so I appreciate them a ton. Obviously, Vspeed for putting on a good show as always, and this wonderful paint scheme. Best looking car out here without a doubt. Got to shout out old Jake Reeves coming on board for this season. Doorbang a download, all of that fun stuff on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Maybe just Spotify. Jake can correct me after this. Yeah, that's what I got. Hopefully, I did all right, Jake.
Did an excellent job. I think that he listed it all. And Southeast Tutoring there on the side of the car as well.
Of course, Southeast Tutoring, my own company. I should probably plug that one too.
Probably plug that one.
I forgot. I forgot.
He's
been a crazy couple minutes.
Yeah, it has. Well, outside of that, Morgan, let's go celebrate, buddy. I got plenty of post race. I know that we're probably going to be up a couple minutes past your bedtime tonight, but congratulations on the win, and we'll see you in post race. And thank you for your time, man.
You bet. Chat to you guys later. Shake and bake.
Shake and bake, he said. All right, so that's the time right there. We try to get that sound quip in. Yeah, this is going to be submitted here from Vspeed to iRacing. Hope you're watching. Wherever you are in the world right now, if you want to submit it for us and just make 1 million copies of this thing, submit it all you want. Winner Morgan Cook here tonight. And just 6/1000ths of a second separating the top 4. We hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. I know I did. Jake Reeves, any final thoughts before we let him go?
Well, I mean, Bradley, I say each and every week that, you get what you paid for. The fans, they got treated, we got treated, the drivers got treated here tonight to something that quite possibly, Bradley, I don't think we will ever see again unless just the planets align in the right order. But, 4 wide at the line at Talladega, that's a race fan's dream right there, is to see something like that. So shout out to those guys for being able to keep it clean right there. And, shout out to you guys over here, Bradley and Morgan and everybody here with Vspeed, for letting me come on board and witness something that, like I said, I've never seen before and quite possibly will never see again. Congratulations to Morgan Cook. Hell of a race. All the way from start to the finish. Everybody got what they wanted out of that.
We hope you enjoyed it, though. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Still plenty of racing left to be done here from QSR Xfinity Series and the Gen 4 Series. Again, this is Bradley Cooper and Jake Reeves. I want to thank Adam Baker. Got to meet that guy over the weekend. Awesome dude. Does a lot of work in the background, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. It helps him out tremendously, helps us out tremendously. But for everybody at Vspeed and, Quentin Stewart, QSR Simulations, Ronnie Joyner that put on the Xfinity Series, it's Bradley Cooper, Jake Reeves telling you we'll never top it again. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.